everyone, my name is Brittany. Welcome back to my channel. And today we'll be reading some contemporary romances that I found on NetGalley.
It's Brittany, bitch.
As many of you know, NetGalley is where you can request books that are not out yet to the public. And I requested 2 books, and I didn't really realize that I had a contemporary romance theme going, but I guess I did, and I decided to make a video about it because honestly, I started one of the books and I'm really enjoying it. I've really been looking to get that romance itch scratched, and I just feel like I haven't been able to scratch that itch in many months, and I was really just like looking for something that sounded really cute and rom-com-y. I didn't even care if it was smutty, like I'm totally fine with it not being smutty, and I did find 2 books. And one of them is called Pride and Puppies, and this is actually the 4th book in a series I didn't know. So it's the Pine Hollow series by Lizzie Shane, and it follows the town of Pine Hollow, which I had no fucking clue. And this town is in Vermont, and we're following Charlotte and George, and Charlotte and George both have their own respective obsessions with Pride and Prejudice, or Jane Austen in general. So it's no surprise that this book is full of Pride and Prejudice stuff, including quotes, as well as I think some similarities between characters, and they even kind of point them out in the writing. But honestly, I'm really enjoying this book. I'm about 45% of the way into this, and so far, it's a slap. I just really wanted something really fun, and I'm really feeling it. Like, I'm actually feeling maybe not necessarily the romance, but this is a really feel-good book. It's really giving me Hallmark Christmas vibes, but like in a good way, not like a bad way. I feel like this is gonna be a really clean romance because there hasn't been anything remotely smutty so far, which is fine with me because sometimes I really enjoy that. I don't always need some sex scenes and stuff thrown in there. Basically, George and Charlotte work together, but George is like head over heels with her. She doesn't know. She's very oblivious, and she's sworn off of men. So she's doing this whole puppy pact thing where instead of being with a dude, she's going to be without men for 6 months and adopt a dog. And she does do that, and she names this little doggy Bingley. I'm really enjoying this book so far. I'll fill you guys in whenever maybe I complete it, or I get to like the 75% mark, depending on how quickly I can read it. But I've been reading over the past couple days at night, and it's been like a really nice thing to read before I go to sleep. And it really gives me like those happy, full feelings. You know, when you really like read something, you really enjoy it, and it makes your heart feel whole. I don't know how else to describe that. It's really giving it to me. It's definitely kind of like a women's fiction rom-com kind of feel. So if you don't like that romance, I wouldn't attempt. But I also am I'm very much so enjoying her writing, and I definitely would read more from her, so much so that I've actually looked into some Christmas books by her because she has a lot of like Christmas series. So I'm definitely looking into that because the first book actually in this Pine Hollow series is like the 12 Dogs of Christmas or something. So I'm totally on board with that, and I would really love to read more by her. But we'll see. I haven't finished the book yet. I just feel like so far this is like looking like a really good like 4-star, just because I'm just enjoying it so much. So I don't know, maybe this book is like bamboozled me and I'm just like in love. Anywho, let's get to the second book I'll be reading for this reading vlog, which is The Many Dates of Indigo. And this book just looks really good, and apparently Indigo is like a shoe store owner, like a luxury shoe store or something in Houston, and she's trying to find the perfect shoe for clients whenever she really should be looking for her perfect man, because I think she goes to her sister's like 3rd baby shower or something, and then she's kind of just realizing that she wants a long-term relationship. So I don't really know much else about this book. I just kind of want to go into it with what I have from the synopsis, but this one sounds really interesting, and I will get to it as soon as I'm finished with Pride and Puppies, which right now is just my weird pride and joy. It could just be her writing. You know what? If you find the right writing, I mean, you'll just tend to enjoy the story a lot more. But anywho, today we're gonna go to Crumbl Cookies in just a moment. I've never actually been there, and I don't really like cookies, but I really wanted to try it. I think everybody's like doing it. It's such a fad right now. I just like want to try these cookies and see like maybe they actually are good. Maybe I'm missing out. So I'm gonna go attempt that, and then I'll be back with an update on Pride and Puppies.
Tears fall at last. I see my past like it's still around.
Oh no, I have to sneeze.
Don't open the cookies if you have to sneeze. Let's show the box first. What are they? That's milk chocolate chip. Oh my god, it's hot in here. That's the pink,
I forgot already.
That's the pink velvet cookie. I think that's their pink sugar cookie, and then that's the raspberry lemonade.
Oh,
These cookies
okay.
are like ginormous, by the way. Like, why don't they have like smaller cookies? Like,
God, this is why they're $4 a cookie.
We're supposed to eat this in the car with like, no.
I don't think
We
you
didn't think
can.
we didn't think this through. It's fine. So Tyler says if your chocolate chip cookie is not good, period, then you should just like not be a cookie place. So we'll see. Oh, and full disclaimer, I fucking hate cookies, but I like to try them like every now and then. That doesn't sound good.
It's hot.
Wait, the cookie's hot or the car is hot?
Here, it's very gooey. It's almost like raw, but it's not.
It's fine.
It's not bad. Okay, next. They're all very soft. That was the whole shit. It has the consistency of like those Mexican breads.
Mexican breads.
With the design on top.
A concha?
Yeah.
I like the frosting.
Frosting is good.
That one?
Pink sugar cookie.
Mm-hmm.
It's much harder than the other ones.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Mm. The icing is cold though.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay, it's good.
Okay, then last one for face melts off. Raspberry lemonade.
I don't know if I. Oh shit. Oh shit. I don't know if I like that one as much.
Oh, you know what's a shame? I thought I liked that one the most.
It tastes like just too artificial for me.
It tastes a little pledgy.
It,
I guess the problem with lemon, it can taste a lot like
it
pledge.
tastes like pledge, and it's a little like.
Hard?
Yeah.
Okay, which one's your favorite? Let's go in order of best to the worst.
One.
The pink sugar cookie.
Mm-hmm.
That one's your favorite?
And then the chocolate chip, and then this one.
Pink velvet.
I do not really like the raspberry one.
Okay, so I'm going to actually go pink velvet number one, and then pink sugar cookie, milk chocolate, and then raspberry lemonade.
That raspberry one's not it.
I don't think I like it. I actually, you know what? I might switch it just because I don't really like regular chocolate chip cookies that much, but that one has a better taste and texture. Like if I had some like ice cream with it, I feel like I could eat
It
that.
almost looks raw.
Maybe that's like part of their gist.
I
Is
don't
they
think
don't cook it the whole way.
I don't think it is, but it's really good actually.
Yeah, I mean, so for 4 of them, it was like $16 with like no tip. What did you tip?
Nothing.
Nothing. So that's pretty steep. I really wish they had the smaller cookies because when you look at their tray by like the front desk thing, because by the way, you can order on the wall or at like the front little kiosk. We just ordered on the wall, but at the front like little kiosk where there's actually a person taking your order, they have little cookies on the side. So it looks like for catering you can order smaller cookies, but I wish they offered smaller ones. Like I don't really like cookies period, but I don't always want like a one giant cookie.
It's a little big.
It's a little big.
Especially if you don't like it. Overall, it's not bad though.
Overall, not bad.
I'll try a different flavor though.
Well, I was looking
I was
forward
looking for an autumnal flavor.
Well, yeah, well, especially because it's in the fall time, but especially for October, for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, everything's like pink, which is fine, and I can appreciate that, but I'd almost rather them have like one pink cookie, and then they could have had like a pumpkin cookie, or like I wanted different flavors for the time of year it is.
These are very spring.
And I know people said there was like a chocolate one they really liked, and they didn't have any fucking chocolate options, which I thought was just really sad. Because that's actually kind of what I was looking forward to, because sometimes I like chocolate cookies. Like those chocolate lava ones that have like the powdered sugar, I love those cookies.
Those are good.
But these are satisfactory.
Fine, I don't really know if I go here all the time.
Oh my god, something in my
Oh
fucking
my god, I
eye.
turned the car on, it's so hot. Oh my god.
Wait, something in
Oh my god, it's so hot.
There's something in my eye. So I finished Pride and Puppies, and I'm gonna give this 4 stars. I really enjoyed this, and even though it's the 4th in the series, it did not ruin my enjoyment of the book at all. It definitely could be read as a standalone, which I think a lot of romances can be, but I definitely am intrigued enough to go back and read the entire series. So there's 3 books before this one, and I'm really excited to go ahead and get into those, and I definitely plan on requesting them the rest of this year. So I feel like that definitely says a lot about the writing for me as a whole. I really like Lizzie Shane's writing, and it definitely works for me. It definitely helps paint a picture in my head. I also just like the whole small town vibe thing, but like sometimes like I like the small town vibes, but I don't like the people in the town, or the writing doesn't connect, but this definitely connected for me, and it was a really enjoyable read. I really enjoyed our main characters, Charlotte and George. They are both very intriguing characters to begin with. I really liked their individual journeys and what they had to deal with. Charlotte is just a really fun and spunky and speaks her mind, but she's also very stubborn, and she's very hardworking as well. She's always tended to pick the wrong guy. She always picked the Darcys, like these guys that like seem like Mr. Darcy, but that weren't, and they just never worked out for her. And then George has been pining for Charlotte ever since he moved to Pine Hollow like 2 years prior. He's always been holding a torch for her, and she finally is single at the beginning of the book, and he like asks her out, and she thought he was like asking her out as a joke, and that's kind of how this whole thing starts. And he's like, wow, fuck you, I guess, like that's cool, we'll just be friends. So they become friends, and she gets a puppy because she creates this whole puppy pact with her and her friends, but mainly just for her. Like she just wants to get a puppy and shower this puppy with love for the next 6 months and not date any anybody. But of course, she ends up breaking that rule because her and George spend a lot of time together and they end up falling for one another. Here's my biggest complaint though. I feel like Charlotte, even in her own thoughts, friend-zoned George so much. It was really hard to picture them as a couple, and especially because there's no steam in this book, like at all. It's like a 0 steam rating. I couldn't like see what she found so attractive about George because she never really like swooned over him, which I understand is more like from his perspective. He like was constantly swooning over her. Like I could really feel his unrequited love, but I never really felt them like as a relationship as much. I feel like as friends they did a really good job, but as a relationship I didn't really feel the sexual chemistry or the romantic chemistry, but I definitely felt the emotional chemistry. Like they were obviously really great friends, but like I don't know, I feel like if I saw them get it on and like we really weren't just like complete fade to black, that I could like feel a little bit more for them. But I just didn't really root for the romance. Not that I don't root for them as a couple, but like I just didn't really like feel the romantic tension. And I feel like unfortunately like that's just kind of the way it is for me a lot of times in romances. Like I like them individually but not together. But it's not that I don't like them together. I just needed to like see a little bit more like pizzazz between them. But I definitely felt George's unrequited love and I really felt her friend zone. So I definitely felt things. I just feel like if there was more actual in there, I could have felt for the romance, if that makes sense. I also really liked all the Jane Austen quotes. Like throughout the book, there's so many references to Jane Austen and her works, but I also really liked that before the chapter, there was a quote from Jane Austen that kind of like set the tone for the chapter. And I really, really enjoyed that. And honestly, this was just like a really fun romance read that definitely scratched that romance itch I was looking for, and I'm definitely not feeling itchy anymore. I feel a lot better. And I may have found one of my new favorite romance authors, even though she doesn't seem to write steam, you know, which is definitely disappointing because I think she'd be really good at it. But I'm definitely gonna look forward to some of her other romances, and we'll be picking up the first book in the series, which is like the 12 Dogs of Christmas. I'll be picking it up for the Christmas time this year because both my libraries do happen to have it in print. So I will definitely be doing that because I want to see, number one, how this series starts. I also want to like see, do I really just like her writing, or do I like this town? Like I want to know more about this author and what she writes like. And she does have other series as well, so I'm definitely looking into that for sure. Anywho's, I will let you guys know when I pick up the Many Dates of Indigo. I'm looking forward to getting into this, but I have a couple of books in between now and then that I need to finish first because this isn't due on NetGalley for like 2 months, so I definitely need to pick up my other books first because those are due a lot sooner. So I'll update you guys when I finally get there, maybe at least like 50% of the way into it. But I'm excited to pick up another romance, and I hope it's just as good as this one because I've been really enjoying some really fun romances to read at night.
Tears fall at last. I see my past like it's still around. But am I happy now? Am I happy now?
So it's been a hot minute, but I'm finally into the Many Dates of Indigo, and I'm actually 50% of the way into this book, and I must say it is very choppy and it's a little hard to follow at some points, but I am enjoying the characters. Also, if you hear any creaking noises, that is my neighbors. They are upstairs walking around. I don't know what the hell they're doing, but all of a sudden they've been very active, and for some reason the floors get very creaky when it's colder, and all I hear all that sounds like I'm on a fucking boat. Anywho, I'm just not really sure how I feel about this book yet. I looked and it is produced by Wattpad Books, so I wonder if this was written like chapter by chapter because it's definitely feeling that way. I just feel like it jumps like between scenes way too much for me to like remember what was going on, and I had to kind of go back and be like, what just happened? I'm not hating it by any means, and I am enjoying it, but I don't really understand why there's a certain love interest. We're following Indigo. It's almost her 30th birthday. Her mom is throwing her like this giant 30th birthday, and she wants her to bring a date, which number one, I think is really weird that your own mother would be like, you have to bring a date to your birthday party, but like that's just me. I think that's like my family would never like be like, you need to bring a date to your birthday. I'd be like, fuck y'all, I'm gonna have my own birthday. That's a little weird to me, but that's kind of the whole premise of this. And so she's kind of like dating around again, and so she meets this guy named Nathan. He's really cool. He seems really nice. We just found out he's an alcoholic, so she's kind of a little tentative. And also he was like, hey, like, let me know if you want to continue with this after I just told you that. And she was like, oh, what do you mean? He's like, just do you. And she's like, what do you mean? So that's interesting. I don't really understand what happened there. And then we have Diego, who is a piece of shit, who yelled at her employee. Indigo owns a shoe store, and they're having a big sale, and he wanted to like return a pair of shoes without a receipt, and he literally went off, and he was an asshole and left his credit card behind. Me, I would have just definitely like been like, fuck it, he'll come back and get it. But she recognized his name or something, or she looked him up. But this bitch decided to take time out of her day on like the busiest day of her like sale year to look up this dude, okay? And then she finds out that he works where her mom and dad work as attorneys. I think her dad is now retired, and he's in her dad's old office. Okay, why in the middle of the fucking workday, of your busiest like sale year and this is your store, why would you go all the way over there in person to drop off his credit card? Wouldn't you call the front desk lady that you know named Cassie, who you've known for years, and say, this bitch just left his fucking credit card here. Have him come pick it up after work, or have his assistant come pick it up. Thanks. You know what I'm saying? I don't really understand that. I feel like that was just a way to get Diego into the story as like a love interest, but like Diego is such a piece of crap. Like he yelled at a sales associate. Like I cannot condone that kind of behavior. And if I saw a man yelling at somebody because he forgot a receipt and doesn't have it anymore, like, no, it's not their fault that you forgot a fucking receipt. Like, that is honestly just one of my biggest pet peeves of people. I hate people like treat service people like trash. I mean, like if they're being a complete asshole to you, I can understand that if you're getting a little snippy. I get it. Why are you yelling at this poor woman because you don't have a receipt to return it? And then you're like, well, I don't want store credit. What would I use store credit for? He's like a raging asshole. And thankfully, like she doesn't seem to like him as a love interest, but he's really trying to like ask her out a lot. I just don't really understand like what his character is for in this book. I just feel like he's such a dick. We shouldn't be rooting for him anyway. And then on top of it, like the whole storyline with her like meeting him, like their meet cute was just really fucking weird. I did not like that at all. Like that just didn't really make any sense. I would never leave my store in the middle of like my busiest sales day to go drop off a credit card to a piece of shit. Especially if I knew where they worked and I was nice enough, I would have just called over and just said, hey, like let him know he left his card here. I would never in my right mind ever think to like leave my store unattended to go return a credit card to an asshole. If he's the love of your life and he is beautiful and he was sweet and left his card behind, that would be a perfect meet cute and I'd be like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna go over to the fucking law office. But like, why? Oh, and then he tows her car because she parks in her father's spot, which is now his spot that they haven't changed the fucking signs yet. I don't know. I just don't know if I also really like the writing in this book, so that might be part of it. I just feel like it's not really working for me, but we'll see. I'm gonna try and finish this book hopefully sometime this week and I'll get back to you guys, but so far it's looking like probably a 3-star. I'm just like really not vibing with the way like it's pushing certain characters on us, and obviously I feel like she's gonna end up hopefully with her best friend Tate, who she's like, I don't know what's going on there. We don't know what's going on yet, but I mean, I like the people, I like the friends. It's set in Texas. Like, I understand what's going on. I just also don't like how choppy it is in between chapters. I just feel like it doesn't flow very well for me. So it's not like it's a bad narrative. I just don't really like the way it like flows into different scenes. It just feels really like plopped down, like here we are. It kind of feels like a Wattpad, I guess. Like you're reading it chapter by chapter and like you don't remember what happened last time, so it's not a big deal. But anyway, I will fill you guys in when I get to that later. I'm gonna go to the store now and I'm gonna make dinner. So really eventful evening, but I will get back to you guys shortly. So I am finishing The Many Dates of Indigo, and this book I think is gonna get a good 3 stars out of me. I really enjoyed this book and it was a fun read. It just wasn't deep enough for me to give it a higher star rating, and I think it was quite obvious from the beginning which boy she's gonna end up with. And I kind of feel like the story was pointless in some ways. Like it just felt like we were like going through this narrative that didn't really need to exist, even though I enjoyed the characters, I enjoyed the banter, but also like during certain scenes, if there was more than one person, it was really hard to distinguish between certain people, especially Emery and Hazel, which I think are like her store assistants / friends. I think some of the people in this book were just really hard to distinguish from, and I really just didn't care for like her men's choices. I don't know, I just feel like they didn't have anything going for them that I enjoyed, and I kind of went into it a little bit deeper, I guess, in my review, but I definitely would never have given Diego a chance. So Diego is like this like complete narcissistic piece of shit asshole who we meet him yelling at her store employee about returning shoes. I would never in a million years like meet a dude, see him yelling at my employee and go, maybe I'll date him, because I would never forget that. I didn't even forget that reading that he did that to her, and then this bitch goes in person to return his fucking credit card. I would be like, he can come pick that the fuck up. I don't understand that. I just feel like these dudes, they were put into her life, and I really don't understand why. I feel like they were there for like filler. Like we know who she's gonna end up with, and I didn't like some of these dudes. Like it just, I don't know. Something about this just bothered me, and it's really hard to put like my finger on it, but like it just really wasn't deep enough, and I just feel like if you really like a strong main character, this is a good book for you. But other than that, I just feel like, I don't know, it was so choppy. It was so frustrating to read at some points, because I feel like when we go from like chapter to chapter, I feel like we're like plonked down in there with like no reason as to how we got there. And I need a little more flow in my books. I need a little bit more of like a oomph going throughout it. I need more of a thread. I just feel like we were plopped in these scenes, and even the dates felt like filler. Like shouldn't we like look forward to those things as like the best things? But I don't know. I think a big part of reading in general is I just don't like certain people's writing. I don't really know if her writing is like vibing with me. Like I really like the idea and the premise of this book, but at the same time too, if I had a mother who was like, you need to have a date to your 30th birthday party, I'd be like, don't throw me one then, bitch, because I think that's so rude to like make someone have a date. But it also like Indigo kind of went along with it. I don't know. I just I don't know. I feel like her mom is like a steamroller, and she was just like, well, you're gonna have a party and you're gonna have a date, and fuck you. Maybe I'm just too independent and I've been single too long. I don't know. I just don't care. I've never had a date to an event literally in my life. I've never had a holiday with a date. I just don't think it's a big deal. And I really wouldn't want that person meeting my family if I didn't have like a forever future with them, which I know sounds like over serious, but like that's just me in general. Like I've never had somebody meet my family ever, because unless like I'm gonna marry this person or be with them for like the rest of my life, why would I like go through the pain of introducing you to my family? Because you know how many times I've had my brothers bring somebody over and I actually really like this girl and then they break up and then I can't talk to her anymore. You know how many people have had to block on Instagram because my brother said I had to? It's so sad because you build these friendships with these people and they don't last. And I think especially, why would I bring someone home to my family that's not gonna last? You know what I mean? So why the fuck would I bring a date to my own birthday party? And she's only turning 30. It's not like she's turning 40 or something. Like I kind of say more of a pressure to turn 40 and have like a life partner, but at 30 years old, because I'm gonna be 30 soon, I don't feel old. I don't feel the need to have a family or the pressure to do any of that stuff. So I think I didn't really relate to that premise in general, but I was excited to see her go on the dates, and the dates were like the most boring part. I just feel like it's, you know what it is? I think it's just the writing style just felt like everything was skirted over. Like the things I wanted to see, I didn't end up seeing, and then I feel like I saw filler scenes that didn't make any like sense for like the plot or what I wanted to see. So did the characters have a lot of personality? Absolutely, but like did I always like those personalities? No. So that's why it's gonna get 3 stars on me. I think it's a solid read. It's a decent read. I really enjoyed it and it was like fun to read, but like is my new favorite book of all time? No. As a reminder, Pride and Puppies is already out as of November 22nd, and The May Days of Indigo comes out on December 6th. So if you want to purchase these books, that is their expected publication dates. Maybe you might be able to get an early copy from NetGalley. I don't know. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you guys leave some suggestions for romance down below, because it's definitely become one of my new favorite genres of this past 2 years. So I'm really trying to explore the romance genre in any way, shape, and form. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.